So you can see, I know no one's in the room right now, so I'm still just talking like you guys are here. So let me see if I've got a spot I can just set this up while I'm doing this. There you go. So, so I had a good night last night. I'm getting ready to hit the road. Um, this was like one of those last minute things where I pedal up to the end. Then I kind of start getting a little freaked out towards the end because uh, once it goes dark, you're limited to which on the left hand side and the right hand. Hey, Ellie. uh, nice to see you, and also nice to see that I can see the chat. I'm how long I can actually see the chat for. Um, I don't. It pops up and then it just disappears. I wish it would just permanently stay up. So I have my other phone. I had to try and figure out how to access it. So I might as well do that now. Um, thing is I put myself down as a manager, so I have the two web page or the two accounts, Hobo, American Hobo, and American Hobo 2 with a TOOO. Just a word, a play on words, and like two, but also two meaning the word also. So, um, but I put myself down as a manager. That way, I could on both accounts for the other YouTube page. So for some reason, it's harder for me to access the actual chat now on my other phone. But that's probably just because I'm new to all this stuff and I'm trying to figure it out. I figured, hey, good morning, Hidden Hammock. What's up, brother? How you doing, Josh? I noticed you put out your video that yesterday. It was actually really well made, man. I mean, you must have had to move around that camera a lot to get those morning shots. But it's funny. Yesterday, I decided, so you can tell. Yeah, double tap the screen for the turning it on and off. Yeah, I didn't know what you were talking about at first, Ali. On the Samsung, you can double tap the screen and that'll turn it off, and double tap it again, and it turns it back on. So that doesn't render that phone holder I have for my bicycle completely useless. I'm glad I didn't throw it away. It's still in my bag. I was just like, I'll just hang on to it for a little longer. So yeah, I didn't know what you were talking about at first, but yeah. So yeah, like you guys can see, this was an awesome spot last night. So like I said, I started freaking out because it once so this is the road I was riding on, and bang, this popped up, and it's a little overgrown and stuff, which is good for me because that means there's a greater chance that they don't mind you camping. It's the local fishing hole, and that's why I tore down camp real fast. That way, this leaves this area open for anybody that wants to share it with me. So we got all the fishermen showing up, and how you doing, brother? So, yeah, he's setting up his poles. But what a beautiful spot, huh? It's just right here along the river. Yeah, and this one had a good roof. The other one's not so great. So it rained on me yesterday. It didn't last night that I know of. So yeah, so everything's pretty awesome. So Hidden Hammock, how are you doing, brother? I'm not sure if you where you're at right now, but if you guys don't know Josh from Hidden Hammock, he just put out his first video of him buying the bicycle, even though he did that a few days ago. He's already on day, I think, 3 of pedaling through Vietnam, and it looks like he's taking a different route than me altogether because I didn't veer away from the coast almost at all. Hey, Flea, what's up, guy? Good morning. Caught up with you at last. So there was a change of plans. I'm so a change of plans in what I'm doing with the channel a little bit is I was trying to sit on videos for like 24 to 48 hours is the recommendation. That way YouTube has a chance to actually fully analyze your video for, I guess, copyright content and everything else, you know, maybe foul language or whatever, stuff that breaks their community guidelines, and so they don't fully trust a video until until they've been able to go over it for. And if you put out that video before that they've had a chance to go over it in that 24 to 48 hours, then they don't truly. Ah, cool, brother. So you're at the hotel editing. Yeah, I look forward to seeing more of your videos, brother. Like I said, you did a lot of editing on that one. I mean, I was like surprised. You said something about you take 2 hours and cut it down to like a half an hour. That's crazy. I almost use all my footage, like just all of it. There's hardly ever anything that I don't throw in because I'll clip out something if it like the camera goes way out of focus, out of like frame, or if I accidentally like cuss at someone, like the other day, you know, someone got right behind me and started blasting their horn, and I dropped an F-bomb on them. I'm like, I don't want that in there, you know. I mean, I'm a hobo. You guys should know I cuss, but I try not to. You know what I'm saying? It's a bad habit to do stuff like that. But anyway, what I was saying, to get back to what I was saying about my hotel was 770. Yeah, that's about right. In Vietnam, you can get really nice spots for around the $8 range, uh, um, hotel wise. You don't even need to do the hostels because the hostels are not much different. The spot you were camping in Hanoi, Josh, was very close. It was that same green belt that was that I actually stayed in, like a $3 hostel or $4 hostel there. Very nice and stuff, but it's funny because in Hanoi it's so packed and so busy on that side of the river where you are actually where the camping area was. But as soon as you get over that freeway area, it just that freeway is like blocked off with a wall, and you know it's not a freeway, it's just a main road, but yeah, it's blocked off with a wall, and then once you get on the other side, it just becomes all local, and that green area where you camped, that all opens up as like a a protected area where they do gardening and stuff like that, and it's really cool, man, because you can just automatically the traffic stops, and you know it becomes hella local, and everybody's out there at the park and stuff. And I thought that was cool, but I didn't discover that until like when I was trying to get out of Hanoi. Um, but anyway, guys, so I'm gonna stop doing. Sorry, that's two squirrels I saw. I'm going to try and get away from this just sitting on my video. The thing is, if they don't fully trust it, then they don't put it out to as large of an audience. And if I keep it in like private, or if I keep it unlisted for 24 to 48 hours, but then I don't even know when they're actually done going over it. So I'm just taking a guess anyway at 24 hours that they're done with it, just to receive a larger audience. Well, I'm a daily vlog, you know what I'm saying? I've been almost doing a daily vlog for going on 6 months now. I'm over 5 months. And I don't want to tamper with that formula, because that's kind of one of my gimmicks too. And not my gimmick, but that's kind of what I am. That's what I do, is I'm trying to record every single day of my life. And I'm trying to, for 1 year. And then I'm trying to keep it as close to real time as possible for the viewers, you know, without actually going live and just strapping a GoPro to my chest or riding around with my phone on the handlebars there, Josh. That was funny for a whole hour, man. I wonder how much data do you go through doing that? You know, because this is going to be experimental. I'm going to try and go live every day in the morning or something, just to, you know, to add on to my daily vlog that I do. Doing a daily live would be awesome. That would actually make it more, you know, interactive. But anyway, all that said, is I think I'll just go ahead and take down. I think I can actually hurt my viewership. That's just my personal opinion, but I can hurt my viewership if I don't stick up with it, just as, you know, just put it out as soon as I, you know, download it or upload it. Wait till a good time when everybody's awake. Maybe not do it at like 2 o'clock in the morning, but wait until the morning time, like 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, where it'll get the max viewership. Because they really watch how many people are watching and stuff like that right off the bat. Yes, it is a journal. I think we can help by forwarding links to your channel. Yeah, and that's what it is. So when you first put it out, they see how many people are watching it, how many people are liking it, and and how many people are sharing it. But that's within the first window when you actually first put it out. Uh, all right, yeah, no, I figured that too. The Josh said that he doesn't know how much he live streamed on his bicycle for like a whole hour yesterday, riding in Vietnam, and I was just wondering how much data that went through. I actually had 130 gigs still left over from my last sim, so um, that was because I'm rocking 2 SIM cards right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and just try and burn through one by doing a lot of live streams. Um, yeah. So yeah, but the window of opportunity where they really watch and see how many people they're gonna keep sharing, and also if it only goes out to my favorite vlog. Yeah, that the jail, the code of jail and stuff was like a last minute thing. That sound went really bad, and I had to do a voiceover. That's the problem with me is it's not so much you know the audio is number one, video is number two. From what I understand, it's like so. I think my microphone actually just ended up kind of tilting in and muffling against my body, but. 20 gigs a day on Northland. Okay, yeah, that's probably more than what I got. I have 200 total for the month, but then I could re-top up. So, but that's times 2 different cards. Uh, but, but yeah, no, I should have plenty. So, if you guys didn't see yet, I don't know if how many people just tuned in. This is the spot I stayed last night. It's pretty awesome. I saw it on the way in. I was coming this way, and yeah, it was already going dark, but it was very nice. I think the sunset was over towards this area, and you can see it actually still goes out this way. So I went and checked these structures out because they look like they're like a little more private, but they have like a cement bench on the inside. So this was one of the few that were actually open on this center part. There's another one over there that has a good roof, and then the other two very bad roofs. So I wasn't sure if it was going to rain again. So anyway, let's see what I can do around here and mess around with this. I'm wondering if I can actually keep the chat room live on the screen at all times without using my other phone. Guys, give me a second here. I'm going to see what I can do about accessing. See what I can do about accessing this trying to access it on my other phone. This actually means we're both on the same one at the same time. It's the same account. Yeah, it's just not showing up. It's not showing up as... So I might have to be on 2 different accounts. See, I'm on actually the American Hobo live streaming and this. But... Sorry, just stick with me while you can. Which click on your profile and switch accounts. Yeah. Now I was seeing if I could access it through the same account. Like I said, I had a problem with. I'll go to American Hobo 2 and see if it pops up there. I figure I'll figure this out while it's live because after I turn it off, it's not gonna. It's not gonna. There it is. Yeah, that's the weird thing is, so as soon as I made American Hobo 2 a manager, I and I would subscribe to American Hobo, the original, this channel. I can no longer find it my in my subscriptions for some reason. I don't know why. I have American Hobo 2 under my subscription. You're not supposed to be able to subscribe to yourself. So I don't know what that's all about. So yeah, I have to figure out what I did wrong. I messed something up. Um, let me see. Yeah, just bear with me while I'm trying to figure this out. It says I'm subscribed to it. Oh, there. Okay. I did just figure it out. Okay. I had to figure that out. So, like, as soon as I made myself a manager, I lost the subscription to my original channel, but now I'm subscribed to myself through American Hobo 2. I don't know what I did wrong. So, yeah, now I have the chat, guys. So I'll just do that before I set up everything next time. When I first set up everything, that way this keeps your guys' chat up and I don't miss it. I'm afraid I'm missing people's comments because there's a small opportunity once you after you post live, like you take the video, go live, you have a small little window of actually catching their chats before YouTube takes it down. So yeah, so this way I make sure I don't. Hey, your spot is near the mouth of the river Sideli, the river Sideli. Okay. So yeah, I'm there. I guess Flea says I'm near the mouth of the river Sideli. Yeah, cool. Good morning. Okay, good. I didn't miss anything. All right, guys. Yeah, that's my plan is to just get on this road again. I'm actually I'm at the river, so it looks like what is that? The J89? It's this road? You guys can't see that, can you? Nah. So I'm gonna be going north on that. The thing is, I came way out to the farther east than I needed to because it actually just comes out this way, hits the coast for a little while, and then goes right back in. So I actually added a bunch of kilometers to my route just so I could come out to the to the bay or whatever, you know. And so, but it would have been more of a direct route just to stay along the day 118, no, the AH18, I think. I don't know, my eyes are too blurry this morning. Alright, guys, Josh, everyone, thank you for tuning in. Anybody want to say anything? Want to ask any questions, do it now. Otherwise, I'm going to finish packing up here and get on the road. I do plan on putting out my videos as soon as I upload them. I'll just wait for the more proper time, when I think everybody's open. So I rode past Kota. Yes, I did. And I missed a tourist town. I kind of followed. I don't know which. Hey Taiwan. Hey, you came in just a little bit late, my brother. I tried to put up a half an hour notice and stuff, but that's all I really had because I didn't know exactly when I was gonna wake up. I got 3 months in, Josh, I have 3 months in Malaysia, so I'm planning on staying as long as possible. I don't know if you guys know this, but Doug from Planet Doug, he's came back over to Malaysia. So the ones that like to watch people bicycling through Malaysia, Doug's going to be doing the same thing. So he's actually going to be like following kind of close to, he told me on the telegram he's going to be following close to the same route that I'm taking, so counterclockwise. Um, Probably staying in the places a little bit longer. But you know, I need to stay in the spots a little longer too, just because I got 3 months now, and I'm not really trying to travel through the places. I'm trying to live, you know, live abroad, and that requires slower moving. But I'm not really one to slow move, man. I'm used to constantly being on the move. So yeah, Doug is actually starting up. So his videos are going to be more or less based upon his, I think, like his bicycle rides and stuff like that. Obviously, you're probably going to see a lot more knowledgeable Wikipedia, uh, knowledge about the places that he goes and stuff, because this has been his stomping ground for a little bit, and he's just in general, he's a smart guy, which I've really appreciated him being in my comments section, because he uh, he he smarted up my page a little because I really don't know anything about the places I go. I just kind of go. So like I didn't even know I bypassed a tourist town. You know, that's fine. But usually tourist towns are tourist towns. For They're good for two things. One is there's usually something to see. You know that you can see for free and not pay an arm and a leg. And two, the accommodations are cheap in tourist towns, but they aren't anywhere else. So. Um, Unless you're in Vietnam, then you can find $8 hotels no matter where you go. Um, but yeah, so yep, that's all I really want to do. I want to jump on, tell you guys I had a good spot to camp last night. I'll be hitting the road. I'll be going back to my older formats, just putting out the videos as pretty well as soon as I get it. I'll choose a better time to do it when I think everybody's awake. That way it squeezes the most viewers into that windows. And if you guys want to boost the viewership, then just, you know, uh, share it with whoever. You don't even need to know the person. Just start randomly putting in people and just start sharing my video. Just spam my video everywhere. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, if you guys know anybody that might be interested, because it's good to actually have some good people on here and stuff like that. It's one of the coolest parts about doing this is, one, learning the camera, two, now I'm learning live feed, but also the interaction that I have with everyone. And I can see when it starts getting bigger, like more and more time to vote. Like I try and read I do read every single comment, and reading every single comment takes up a big portion, and I used to always try and respond to every comment, but sometimes it's like, hey, that's just a comment, you don't need to respond to everyone. You actually can't. And the more people you get, the harder and harder and harder it becomes. So but I still want to read them all, and I still miss them. Somehow I miss them. They pop up like 3 weeks ago this was posted. I'm like, I didn't remember that. Yeah, no, it's definitely, that's one of the biggest things about, like, if you watch any of these like Think Media, vidIQ, or any of the other people, but they basically all package up the same information if it's proper. There's some bad information, but one of the things is they say you need to work on a community, just because that's how the channels are going to work. It's not that AI is not is being ignored. AIs are tools. Like, okay, so I did a thumbnail the other day, and I used Canva, used the AI using the Canva app, because what happens is ChatGPT is limited to like so many a month now. It resets after a month. I thought it used to be 24 hours. At least that's what it told me at first. And I was like, no, it's a month. And I'm like, you told me it resets after 24 hours. And, arguing with an AI is not, it's like arguing with a child. They won't admit when they're wrong. but anyway, so you only get so many from ChatGPT. Grok is a terrible artist. That's weird to say that about an AI. It's just terrible. vidIQ is good, but they're limited on their free version. Yeah, they're limited on how many times you can do. But Canva also has a very good drawing one. So what I do is went to ChatGPT. I asked for a thumbnail idea. I just basically said, this is what I did all day, right? I slept under a billboard one night, And then I got on my bicycle and I pedaled on the basically alongside the freeway until I got to a riverside gazebo, and I set up my hammock again. And that's basically all it says. It said, give me a thumbnail idea and give me a title idea. So it spit out. Those are, you can do as many of those as you want. So it gives you a markup. It says this is what you should do, and then I copy and paste that markup over either to vidIQ as what I want for the thumbnail, or Canva was the first time yesterday, and Canva did a really good job at drawing. So I was like, cool. I'm not sure if I posted that yet. I'll post that as soon as I'm off this. I'll make that public. Yes, yesterday's video. So anyway, let me check the comments real quick, guys. Make sure I didn't go over anything. Log out of your second account and access YT in the public. Yeah. Well, I can access it now. For some reason, I have to actually search for American Hobo, where I was subscribed to it. Once I start making myself managers, like one manager of the other, and so that way I can be on either phone and jump back and forth and still edit my pages. That's where something went weird. So you can get out 30 days in Malaysia. What country? Indonesia is going to be the next country, Josh. Just because it's the closest. Whatever country is the closest at the time when my visa expires, that's the country I'm going to. Just because it's the cheapest. And the only exception to that rule is when I found out about the Komodo Kodo Trail in Japan as a UNESCO World Heritage Trail. And when I completed the Camino in Spain, I got certified that I did that, and I found out that you can get registered as a dual pilgrim with UNESCO if you complete both of them and you show proof that you did both of them. So I ran over to Japan. That was the first time I actually took the plane ticket. I was like, well, I'll just make my way across the world until I get to Japan and then do it then. I'm like, nah, if I procrastinate and don't do this, then I'll never do it, right? So procrastination is the killer of dreams, man. So I was just like, I'll go ahead and I fished out the money to fly, from Spain to Japan just so I could do that. But it was awesome. That's where I picked up my Hennessy hammock. I was surprised because Japan's like 3 to 4 times more expensive on their gear. Everything's like, camping is like glamping there. It's like nothing's affordable when you buy a tent or a sleeping bag. But for some reason, Hennessy hammock must have a price cap on their stuff because it was $250, which that's without tax, because anything over 50,000 yen or something like that is tax free. So it actually came out cheaper buying it in Japan than if I would have just gotten it through the company itself. Hennessy Hammock's still like a small business. They only really do just their hammocks, but they're very well known. I mean, not small. I mean, they're well known, so they're big that way, but they don't need to be any bigger because they're only making one really good product, and that's their hammock. So that was the only time I really broke that. So other than that, anytime, whatever, when my visa expires, whatever's closest to me that I haven't gone to yet is what I'm aiming for. So you have a community. I hope you. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's why I said this is Doug's old stomping ground. He has a very good knowledge of everything. And my favorite, so you buy your electronics in Japan and big cameras yeah. Japan has good quality. They have a good mixture. Honestly, if they weren't so expensive, I mean, some spots are cheaper. Like Osaka, you can still find hostels and hotels for $10. I mean, I was able to find a $10 hostel in Tokyo. So it just depends. And if you avoid the super fast light rail and you just go for like the commuter trains, what all the locals take, you just figure out the route as you go along, because Google will always try and put you on the more expensive train. Then it's affordable, and I was doing mostly just all walking anyway, so I pretty well just walked through Japan, but to get out to Mount Mount Fuji and stuff, the 5 lakes back there, the Suicide Forest, all that stuff. I had to take a train to that, and yeah, I stayed out there and camped in the Suicide Forest for a while. That was awesome, man. That was so beautiful. Um, but hang on, I missed the comment. So, yeah, Japan was nice. I really do. Osaka was one of my favorite towns just because it's a little bit gritty and grimy, and people a little more open about being drunk there than they are probably the rest of the. Because Japan's very, it's like there's no garbage cans anywhere yet. There's no garbage anywhere. Like there's nothing on the ground. It's because they have habits of if you see a piece of garbage, pick it up. And when you get to 7-Eleven, throw away your stuff. That's why when they ask you if you want a bag from 7-Eleven, always say yes and carry it around as your garbage. And the next 7-Eleven, throw your stuff away. They're everywhere. There are 7-Eleven, Lawson, and Family Mart all compete with each other. So you have like one or two of them on each block. So it's not far you have to go to find a garbage can. Um, Oh yeah, that's sleeping in the parking lot, and yeah, that was a trick that you learn, like not answering the cops when they knock on your window, right? Move, because if they think you're dead, they'll break your window. But don't ignore them. So if you're sleeping and they're back there, you just kind of roll around and just pretend that you're sleeping, and eventually they'll leave you alone. Otherwise, if you wake up and you answer, like if you're sleeping in your car and you answer it, then they're going to harass you. They're going to ask you for your ID. They're going to, and then eventually they're going to tell you to get going, right? But honestly, there's nothing wrong with usually sleeping I mean, sometimes you might be sleeping in the wrong spot, but yeah, there's nothing wrong with like pulling over and and sleeping. Yeah, so I was just trying to ignore the security officers, but the security officers ended up, what it was a combination of that little photovoltaic, the solar panel being in my window, right, which was hooked up to my battery. That way because of sitting in the battery in my car all the time, opening the door, closing all this, it drains the battery out, and it just sitting in one spot drains the battery anyway. So that's a trickle charge, keeps it going. But then I blacked out all the windows with that black construction paper on the inside, so from the outside it just looks like a dark limo tent. But if you put a light up to it, like the cops like to do and security, you can't see in, and then since I'm laying in the back, there's moisture building up in the window. So you got the moisture in the window, you can't see in, everything's been blocked off, so it looked hella suspicious. I know that it looked hella suspicious to him. So my friend actually, because he lived a ways out too, we were both crap dealers, so we dealt craps, and but so sometimes he wouldn't go home either, right? He would sleep in the front seat, I would sleep in the back, right? And then we'd just get up and go to work tomorrow, the next day, because he didn't want to go all the way home unless I drove him or something. So he got up and he walked into to use the restroom in Circus, right? And that's when the security came up, and and he saw the security, decided not to come back, and then after a while, the cops show up, and then after a while, they're closing off the block, not letting anybody drive by the parking lots. No one could go into the parking lot. They shut down the whole block. This is what my friends told me. He's like, dude, they shut down everything. They thought it was like a bomb scare or something like that. They weren't sure if it was like something being grown in the back because of the moisture in the windows. But they kept knocking, I was like, just ignore them, they go away, like normal, right? They just didn't go away, and eventually he's like, okay, we got to break the window, because they still had a call, and usually a call to get permission to break the window, but they must have got the permission, so I opened it up, I was like, what's going on? He's like, you didn't hear us? Because it was hours, of them knocking, and it was like, I was like, no, I'm a heavy sleeper. I mean, but prove me wrong. Prove that I'm not a heavy sleeper. I mean, yeah, that was a lie, but I heard him knocking. But man, these things they happen. Unfortunately, when you're sleeping rough and you're trying to just get by without getting bothered all the time. There's always something that wants to bother you, from the weather to the police to the centipedes on the ground. Something wants to crawl into your shorts or rain on your head, you know, and or put you in handcuffs. And yeah, my worst is mountain lions or weirdos. That's the two things I don't like to meet in the wilderness. But all right, guys. I think I blabbed long enough. That's 35 minutes. I was only planning on doing a half, 15 minutes. But look forward to like about 15 minutes every morning. I'll try and do that. If there's some reason I can't because I don't have signal or something, then sorry. Um, but other than that, this is just going to be the new format I try. Uh, and I'll make sure I didn't miss anything. Japan, you can stay in the internet cafes. Yeah, well, the internet cafes. Okay, so I know about the internet cafes because if you research any type of homelessness and stuff like that, and like which you should, like Singapore. I researched the homelessness in Singapore, and there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's like homelessness anywhere else. They prefer you not to, so they're gonna make laws against it, but they're not gonna. You can't out and out say, okay, it's illegal to be homeless because that's cruel, and that's unjust and that's cruel. But they can make everything that requires you to be homeless illegal, like no sleeping in public. Now you got to eventually sleep in public because there is no free land America or free land anywhere anymore. Everything's owned by a corporation or a government or some type of entity. It's owned. You know what I'm saying? Even the national parks and stuff. Well, that's still owned by the government. Go try and sleep in a national park for 6 months. No, they're not gonna allow you to do that because it's owned by the governments. And yeah, unfortunately, you're as a homeless person, you're always going to be breaking the law because that's what you are. I mean, you can't get around these laws that are made so that you cannot exist. And the thing is they don't want to out and out say they don't want you to exist, so they just make laws for your existence, illegal. And unfortunately, it's everywhere, and you just got to realize, yeah, okay, but then there's humanity too. So the cops and stuff like this realize it's unjust. Some of them, on a bad day, they just like to beat up homeless people. Some of them do. The cops and people, but there's usually always that nice part in a cop where they just leave you alone until the complaints come from the people back to their heirs, and then they start hearing the complaints. Then they go and shut down whatever it is, using the laws that they have at their disposal. So that's how homeless camps form, is because they're being ignored, and that's also how they get ripped down because the complaints come in from the people, and then the cops they uphold the laws that are already pre-existing. So it's a non-ending cycle. So what happens to those homeless people? They migrate to a different area that doesn't have the complaints yet. And sometimes you have to migrate out of a city. So each spot has their own little way of getting rid of you too, like free bus tickets to the next town. They don't care. They'll give you a free, like Hawaii. They'll pay for your ticket to get off of Hawaii, but if you come back, you're not entitled. Well, they can't say you can't come back because if you're a U.S. citizen, you're a U.S. citizen. But if you come back, you're not allowed any type of help programs like food stamps or anything. Within like a year or 2 year basis or something like that. Some spots tell you can't come back if they give you a ticket out. I don't know how they legally do that, but they do. But these are just things that I've been doing this since I was 17 years old. So I mean, off and on, back and forth between the work world, working in Vegas and the casinos. Now at the same time, they basically gave me a casino, so not like I never worked. I worked plenty, and I still work. If I run out of money, I'm going back to the work world, at least until I save up enough just to get back out into the travel world. But you get used to having a nest egg, and that's what I plan on always doing. So anyway, guys, I'm rambling here. Let me double check real quick. Yeah. All right, guys. I'm going to call it quits right now. It's like 40 minutes. That's long enough. And I'm going to hit the road again, see what I can See what life brings at me this time. All right, peace, y'all, and hasta la bye bye.